Welcome to Soft Skills with Grandma. In this episode, you will be learning about the empathy scale from the expert.
Let me share a story from my life. When I was in school, I think I was in 7th or 8th standard. Once during the interval time, when I was playing with my friends, the bell rang and I was late for my class. So I was running fast. I was rushing towards my class. And as I was rushing fast, I tried to take a turn and I straight away crashed into a pillar which was right in front of me, which injured my nose and I started to bleed. Without realizing what had happened, I just went and sat in the class. And as the class started, the teacher was teaching us, noticed me, and probably would have noticed that my nose was bleeding. And he stopped the class, he walked towards me and said, "What happened to you?" And I was a little scared. I stood up and said, "Nothing." He said, "No, your nose is bleeding." I said, "Oh yeah, just before entering the class, I banged into the pillar. And probably that could be the reason." Then he immediately said that if this is the case, you will not be able to attend the class. So please go meet the principal and take permission and go to your house. So I immediately left the class, met my principal, and principal on seeing me asked me, where I lived. I said that I lived in so and so place. He also inquired about my parents. My dad was a doctor. He said, "That is the case, you immediately go home and get treated for it." And that's how I left and I reached my home. And the whole thing was sorted out. Now this is a real incident in my life. Now in terms of the empathy scale, if you really look at it, say for example, in the first case, the teacher was teaching in the class, and I was sitting in the class, was injured, was bleeding in the nose. Let us take for example that the teacher continued to teach in the class without noticing that I was injured. Now that state is what we can call as state of being unaware. And the second state is, say for example, the teacher then suddenly notices that there is something wrong with me. And he's a little interested to know what has happened to me. Now that state is what we call as being curious. Now let us reach another state. Say for example, the teacher is now teaching in the class and then he notices that I am bleeding. A student in his class is bleeding. And then he just looks at him and says, "What is that? You're injured. It looks like you're injured." He seems to be a little concerned. But then he continues to take his lessons in the class. So we can say that this state of the teacher is to just be concerned about the situation, concerned about the person. He's a little concerned that the person is injured. And then comes the next state where he walks up to the student, as he rightly did. He came up to me and asked me, "What is that? Why is that my nose was bleeding?" And then I told him that, I got injured while coming into the class as I banged into the pillar, and so on and so forth. And that's how he could understand my situation. He could understand my pain. He was able to understand what I was going through. And that state is what we call as empathy. So these are the 4 different stages of the empathy table.
So, that is about the empathy scale, for you. If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments section. And if you want to enroll for the full course on emotional intelligence, you can click the link shared in the description of this video, and enroll. Never miss an update. Subscribe to this channel, like, and share with friends. In the next episode, you will be learning about negotiation skills. Until then, take care.